A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome once again to HJN Season 4. So, what we got here for today is, of course, another piece of HJN. And HJN Season 4, in this instance, is going to be all about meals. So, let's get started with number 2641. Meals, of course, as we know, is a common staple usually held at home or even elsewhere, whether it be at a restaurant or in a park or at a family picnic outside in the wilderness. The meal typically consists of a few different dishes that are put together. You have the main course, you have the appetizers, you have the side dishes, you have the beverage, you have the desserts. But these are, of course, just a few mere examples of how a meal is typically set up. If you're familiar with something known as the food pyramid, the 4 basic food groups out there would include such things such as the fruits, vegetables, proteins, and carbs. And while carbs can usually consist of anything simple or complex, from grains to breads, to rice and potatoes, it's fair to say that with the food pyramid and all of the 4 basic food groups that are established, they have thoroughly helped in keeping people whole, in keeping people well fed, in keeping people in charge of their own unique health tracking, in keeping people interconnected with others as a means to hopefully improve any sort of mistakes that may have happened. And whether this could be from simply ingesting too much sugar, to drinking a little too much water, or maybe not getting enough water in their diets, or it could be something about how certain nutritional requirements aren't met, like you don't have enough vitamin C or enough zinc in your system. There's always a chance that somebody might have a fumbling in whatever field that it could possibly be. The thing is, though, is that every nutritional requirement for every person is always different. I've seen some people who've taken obscenely insane amounts of B vitamins in their system. And I can tell you for one thing that Bang energy drinks as well as Celsius water, they have insane levels of certain vitamins and minerals inside of them. There's always a good amount of things like riboflavin and pantothenic acids. There's always the good chance that some things could very well be missing. But one thing's for certain though, whether these are requirements that are made by your physical provider or your doctor as a whole, whether this is something that the pharmacy considers for you to have, whether it be a prescription or whatnot, or maybe it's something that your own peers might have, teachers, parents, or anybody who's an expert on health. I will at least say this. Having had my own fair management of nutritional value, from taking in the essentials, vitamins and minerals, as well as amino acids from time to time, to having myself a good meal set up. In fact, a good menagerie of different nuts and seeds that I put together includes things like chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, as well as the likes of almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and cashews. I'd say that alone is a hell of a snack to put together. Because let's face it, those things alone, seeds and nuts, could very well be a meal in and of itself, provided you have yourself a good amount of which. I mean, just to name all the different vitamins and minerals that are located inside of these things all at the same time, there's good amounts of them. You got calcium, magnesium, zinc, iron, maybe a little bit of iodine, maybe a little bit of certain vitamins in there, like vitamins E or D, and then of course, the proteins. Then while they're pretty much minuscule, we can at least be sure that nuts and seeds will contain a few amounts of proteins, typically derived from plants rather than from meats, as meat protein is a different thing altogether, whether it be steaks, lamb, pork, or etc. But let's put it all together here. Something that most people might anticipate the most would have to be the desserts. And the dessert, as we know, is typically enjoyed after the whole meal is complete. And this typically is a reward for if, let's say, if your kid might have trouble with trying certain things out. Maybe they might not like things like turnips, peas, or cabbage. It's always a good thing to have the dessert saved for last because that's basically the whole point of it. If they want that precious brownie or sundae or even a slice of peach pie, then they could definitely have that stuff. But just make sure that they finish their meal. Even those Brussels sprouts aren't going to eat themselves. That's for sure. I can tell you one thing. Both of my boys, they need their nutritional requirements. And they practically eat through anything without even asking me anything at all. So that goes to show that I've had a lot of skills. And I've taught them so well over the years. So they don't end up like whatever kind of crazy generational children exist today, where they're nothing but addicts to their cell phones and stuff. Like they don't even have their own phones. And maybe that's for the best. That EMF stuff has got to go. But by all means, I've had a lot to say about meals, and I'm more than glad that I've talked about my own introspectives on this one just as well. In the same way as how with other subjects I've talked about recently, there's been tons of things that I've had to add on for myself, just to ensure that this subject is met with seriousness in mind, as well as a good informative segment, so that I can connect with the subject just as well as the rest of you guys can. So, I'll be back tomorrow with more subjects, but until that happens, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me wherever you can find me, and stay on the Hollywood side.